At some point, Ash Ketchum is going to have to settle down from his having wandered around all of the regions and hit some form of semi-retirement. Maybe he could go ahead and run a gym. In fact, that's exactly what we explore in this series, which you can see the intro to up over there. So there's quite a few gyms that he could run here. We've covered a few of these in other videos, but today we are going to be looking at the water type gym. So he's got 10 Pokemon available to him to do that, and we can see that list right here. So what does that look like, and can he do it the way he's supposed to? And what I mean by the way he's supposed to is he has to not only be able to hold this gym down against challengers that are trying to get their 8th badge that he can use a full 6 Pokemon against, he has to generation style also be able to put up a appropriate team for someone trying to get their 1st or 2nd badge, someone trying to get their 6th badge. He needs to be able to scale appropriately as what he is, which is a gym leader, which is really a check for, okay, are you ready to go for the next level? Not a, I'm gonna fight you my absolute hardest with the best team I have every single time, and the only people that get into the league are better than me. That's not what gym leaders actually are, or at least not what most of us want to think of them as. So he's gonna set this up generation style. So looking at his first team, you can already see it here on screen. He's got that Squirtle and that Boizel set up there. So we take a look at Squirtle. Base stat total of 314. Obviously, Ash's Squirtle has been quite powerful. Could easily have been a Blastoise by now if it wanted to be. It's got that powerful Hydro Pump move. It throws out Ice Beams when it feels like it. No big deal for Squirtle, but he's not going to be showing those moves if you're trying to get your 1st or 2nd badge from Ash. We've also got Ash's 2nd Pokemon here. We can see the Buizel. Stat total of 330 there. Little bit higher. Nothing too terribly surprising here. So the idea is if you're trying to get your 1st or 2nd badge, you should mostly be able to prove that you know type matchups and maybe that you've moderately trained something that has a type advantage for the gym in play. Perhaps you didn't just go catch an Oddish right outside. So we take a look at that, and the types that are supposed to do well against a water gym or water in general would be grass and electric. Those, of course, can hit the super effective hits into the water type, and then dragon doesn't hit water particularly hard, but does resist the water typing there. So you're probably not going to see someone coming in with a dragon Pokemon for their 1st or 2nd gym badge, but regardless, this is set up as it's supposed to be. You can go ahead and take him out. You can sweep him even if it's necessary, if you've appropriately trained that Pokemon. This is a little bit on the weaker side than I like for a 1st gym, but it's really all that fits with Ash's selection of Pokemon. So that's going to work. You shouldn't be able to neutral trade your way through here, and if you try, Ash will probably just have his Squirtle and Boizel hold back a little bit less and start fighting a little bit harder. No taking a dive for you unless you're coming through with your type mastery knowledge. But then if you go ahead and say, no, I'm coming to challenge Ash Ketchum and his water gym for the 3rd or 4th badge in your adventure of the region, you're going to find that he can throw a different team against you. Scales up the number of Pokemon involved because he's trying to step you up that ladder so that by the time you're ready to challenge the league, you are ready for 6-on-6 battles. So now you're going to go up against 4 Pokemon. And you've got some reasonably easy ones in here, at least 1st form Pokemon. We've gone ahead and added to the lineup a Totodile, which has got a stat total of 314 there, but solo water type, physical attacker force though, and the Palpitoad. And this is the first one that we're seeing that is the ground typing here, which is going to give us that all-important electric type wall. So you aren't just going to be sweeping your way through here with a Pikachu. Ash's Pikachu has very much made sure that this gym is ready to make sure that doesn't happen. They're prepared for it. So we see that, and then lastly, we've added Kingler to the mix. Base stat total of 475. That's just going to be a big ball of stats for this gym. This gym is going to be set up in such a way where now you're going to start seeing some of those Ice Fangs come into play. That's a coverage move for Totodile. He's not Ice type, but that's going to be there to at least hit back decently into this Grass type and hit back decently into any Dragons if you were to see them at this point. Squirtle is going to do much the same with a coverage Ice Beam. No big deal there. So those are some light checks on that Grass and Dragon that could come through. And then if the Totodile goes down, to an electric type move, no problem. Palpitoad comes out next, and that's going to be a case of, hey, we can wall off that electric. Once you've dealt with these 3 Pokemon, hopefully that stripped away some of your water checks, be they electric, be they grass, maybe dragon, and now you just have to battle through Kingler, a big ball of stats. If you had a second decently trained water check, hey, you get the gym, you get the badge. That's how it's supposed to work. Otherwise, you're going to have to prove that you can beat this Kingler in a neutral matchup with your remaining Pokemon. And that's exactly what we're trying to get out of these gyms. But things look a little bit different if you come through and say, hey, I want to get my 5th or my 6th badge from Ash's team. You're going to notice we're still only using 4 Pokemon for Ash's team, but we're using a couple real players this time in Lapras and Dracovish. So we take a look at that. Some of you might go, wait, shouldn't Lapras be the ace? Lapras has the stat total of 535. Looking at that water and ice typing, and that stab ice is pretty nice for hitting those dragon types, for hitting those grass types. Plus, we've got the Dracovish. But the Dracovish, well, it may have the lower stat total of 505. Water Dragon is just too powerful of a typing. Dracovish is just too powerful of a Pokemon, regardless if the stat total's in play. It clearly is the ace in this format of the gym. So how does this work? Well, no problem. Leading with Squirtle again. If you have a solid water check, you should be able to take Squirtle down at this point in your adventure without too much trouble. Ash is going to be throwing those Hydro Pumps, those Ice Beams at you. You're challenging for perhaps a 6th gym badge, a 5th gym badge after all. But Squirtle goes down. If Squirtle went down to some electric attacks, no problem. Out comes Palpitoad. If Squirtle went down to that grass or dragon, Lapras will do what they can do. After all 3 of these Pokemon have been dealt with, then you're running into Dracovish. And Dracovish does not have that electric weakness. Dracovish does not have that grass weakness. Dracovish does have that dragon weakness, but did you really get through with a dragon left, having to go through a coverage Ice Beam Squirtle and a stab Lapras, Isotype attacks there? Probably not. So this should be a tough one to take down. On the other hand, it's only 4 Pokemon, and that's what we're looking at here. So that is going to be Ash's version of this gym. So then we run into what is basically the final version of Ash's gym. If you're challenging to get your 7th or 8th badge, we're looking to make sure that you're ready for 6-on-6 battles. Not every single Pokemon Ash Fields is supposed to be a top-of-the-line Pokemon for this, though, as the reality is at this point in most people's adventures, as we've seen throughout the anime adventures there, most trainers, while they may be up to using a 6th Pokemon by now, that 5th and 6th Pokemon may not be terribly well trained. So there's some sort of gimmies in here. Squirtle, kind of a gimme, you know, that lower stat total that we're looking at, but the lead is going to be that Kingler. That's to make sure that if you went, hey, I'm up against the water gym, let me just quickly add a 2nd water check to my team that's untrained. That's probably not going to be able to just roll over Kingler. Kingler can probably trade that out just fine. If you've got 2 reasonably trained water checks, hey, that's on you. That's great. If you lead with your solid water check and run into Kingler, that's perfectly fine. You're then going to have your match of, again, if Squirtle sees anything it can jump in and finish off after Kingler goes down, it'll do that, including with those coverage Ice Beams, and Lapras once again is fulfilling that same take out those grass, take out those dragon types as best you can. Palpitoad there for the electrics. Once all these goes down, you're going to see Dracovish, same as before, not going to get hit very hard by very many things. That's great. And then once Dracovish goes down, you have to go through Ash's true ace, Greninja here. Turns out the best way to go through this gym may actually be with some fairy typing or some fighting typing. Who knew? Those are going to be good against some of Ash's stronger Pokemon in this gym, but that's fine. You should have a well-balanced team at this point, and you can use your water check to get through the front half, and then have some Pokemon left over that can hit some other weaknesses like fighting, like fairy, if you're looking to play well in the league there. Now, Ash unfortunately can't really level this team up much more. If someone wants to come by and go, hey, I already have 8 gym badges, I could challenge you for a 9th badge, a 10th badge, but I really just want the practice before the league starts because it starts at a certain time and it's not ready yet, or maybe another gym leader wants to come challenge Ash, they can just skirmish, or an Elite Four member wants to skirmish with a former champion, but Ash wants to stick to his typing. There's not a ton more he can do, and the reason for that is the only Pokemon we didn't use on Ash's teams are Corphish, which is another 308 total Pokemon, and Oshawott, which, yeah, 308 total Pokemon. So Ash has a decent count of water-type Pokemon at 10 here, but we see a lot of them are actually in that relatively weak range, at least not evolved. Maybe it's not fair to call some of them weak. They've done work for Ash before, but not high stat total when we're looking at Oshawott, when we're looking at Corphish, Squirtle, Boizel, and Totodile there. Palpatine doing okay as a mid-form there, but still only rocking the 384. But what Ash does have to go, hey, this is my little bit of a level up for if you're trying to come against me and you want some real practice, he will bring out the Ash Greninja. He's not going to bring that out if you're challenging him for your 7th or 8th badge, but if you are just trying to get some real serious practice, you are going to see, instead of just the regular Greninja with that stat total of 530 there, you're going to see the Ash Greninja, that very powerful, very fast special attacker with that 640 stat total. So that's what he can bring to the table. And that's what it's going to look like when he's holding down a water gym. What other gyms do you guys want to see? Do you look at this and say, hey, I want to see what it looks like when Ash holds down a dragon gym or a grass gym or any of the others? Let me know in the comments down below, or check out the other ones that we have already done in the series if this is interesting to you. If you're enjoying the content, drop a like, consider subscribing for more thought-provoking Pokemon content, or if you're looking for my Overwatch stuff, that's over on the other channel, which you can check out down below as well. But I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks. Temporal out.